Good morning. I am very happy and excited to have you here. Super excited about the topic of today. Here I am in my backyard. My husband set up a beautiful toasty fire here in our backyard for me to, feel a little more hot in here, a little more cozy. So, welcome to another Coffee with Polkiz. Every Tuesday, I am going live here on YouTube to talk about topics that are going to take us to our next level, either in money, relationships, marriage, engagement, getting proposed. We talk about inner work, personal development, anything that is literally going to help us reach the next level or next embodiment, right? Like we always want to thrive for more and keep growing and evolving as women, as mothers, as wives. So this is another video that I'm gonna be adding to the playlist called Marriage and Relationships. So I have that playlist in the description below. There is more videos there that you can watch where we talk about engagements, marriage, relationships, and everything that has to do with marriage or divine union. One of my favorite topics to talk about too. So today, as you see in the video, it says get him to propose and he's going to be obsessed with you. Make him obsessed with you. And I don't want to make the things clear. I do not want to sound like, oh, it's manipulation. No, we're talking about marriage, divine union, where both parties are happy and committed in one relationship. We're not talking about manipulation or anything in those sorts. So just making that clear, we're talking about, what are your goals for your marriage, for the future version of yourself that you see, as a wife, as a mom in your relationship. So that's what we're going to be talking. I have here my coffee because it's Coffee with Polkiz, and I have my list. Of course, I had to make a list because I do not want to miss any important topic or point that we're going to be talking about. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. I'm very happy to have you here. I'm Polkiz. I am a life coach, certified health and life coach, and I love talking about these things about relationships. So I invite you to subscribe and like this video so other women can find it, or you can send it to another friend if she's also interested about getting the ring, right? Getting engaged. Okay, ladies. So number one, I'm gonna jump into it because from there we are going to start talking, more things. And if you have questions, you can write them there. Number one, if you want him to propose and you want to, if you're already in a relationship or you're looking for a relationship or you're dating, you need to start connecting with your feminine energy. Yes, this is crucial. This is very important because nowadays, especially here in, the Western societies, we are so wired to operate in our masculine energy, right? Always high achieving, working, businesses, education. I want to work. I want to do all of this. I don't need a man. And all of these things are part of like using your masculine energy to achieve things. So all of us have both energies, but many women have forgotten how to connect with their feminine energy. Like we disconnected and now we connected more towards the masculine energy. So we need to reconnect. That's the thing. We need to reconnect with the feminine energy because this is going to create polarity in a relationship. So when you are connected into your femininity, you need to start embracing it, right? Like don't be scared of, like being more soft, more vulnerable, more fluid. All the feminine energy is receiving. So when you're too wired into your masculine, you might not have that polarity in this relationship that you want. So if you are already in a relationship and you're waiting for a ring, maybe there is not that polarity of like, hey, like, yeah, she's a nice girl, she's all of these, but she doesn't awaken that in me, like that polarity, that attraction, that magnetism. And we become magnetic when we are connected to our goddess energy, which is our feminine energy. All that feminine energy comes from our being, our womb. So when we tap into these and you learn to balance these energies, like use your masculine energy in your business, to create structures for you to work out, to create a business at your job, whatever it is. But with your partner, with your future husband, with your boyfriend or your fiance, whatever you have, or if you're dating, if you're single, always present yourself with more feminine energy, more surrender into your body, you know? So I have a series. This series is in Spanish. I will translate all the videos in English, where I go in depth about feminine energy and how can you start using to your advantage these two energies to create and to explore, to feel, to enjoy life in all aspects of your life. So here in marriage and relationships, we want to tap into that energy. We want to let him lead, right? Men love to lead. So when you are just relaxed in embracing your femininity, you're going to create that polarity. So that's number one. And this goes if you're married, if you're engaged, if you're single trying to date, if you're just like, dating people, this goes forever. Even if you're married for 10, 20 years, always is the feminine energy. That's what's going to make you like magnetic and juicy, like to attract people, not only men. Like you're gonna be attracted to all beings. Like even kids want to be with you, people want to gift you things, people want to be around you, friends are going to be wanting to be around you. So that's the magnetic woman, that's being magnetic. So I invite you to start exploring this a little bit more. It is a power that we have and we have forgotten. That's I always say, we are goddesses. We just sometimes forget that we have this internal power. So when you tap into the power, you go inwards, because that's where everything is. All the answers are inside. Then you're going to start awakening all things and manifesting more. So that was number one. Tap back into your feminine energy and embrace your femininity. Number two, if you want him to propose, or if you're single and dating, is to have some sort of independence, maintain independence. And I'm going to explain what independence means. Right now, like society's telling us that we don't need no man, we need to be independent, strong woman, independent, I pay all my bills. If that's independence for you, we need to reframe that a little to make it work to us. Independence means you have control of your emotions. You know how to process your emotions. You are not going to depend on someone to fix your problems, to do the journaling for you, to make you happy. Independence means you have the control with yourself, of yourself, to create a happy life regardless of the situation, regardless if you're single, you're married, you're engaged, waiting for a ring, whatever your status is. Independence means, hey, I need to take care, I know how to take care of my emotions. I don't need one, or put the responsibility to someone to make me happy, or to like just fix my problems, right? Like independence, that. And now if someone wants to do something for you, your husband and all of these, then of course they get to help, right? They get to make a better life for us. And it comes from overflow, not from depletion, where you are just handing out your problems to your partner. Also, independence of having hobbies, having interests and things going on for yourself. Ladies, I've seen cases, and it's a little sad, embarrassing, of women that once they meet a man, once they get together with a boyfriend or someone that is not even going to propose, and they know the relationship is bad, these women forget about themselves. They start liking what the man likes, they start doing what the man says, they start doing, and just forget about their life and their hobbies and what makes them happy and fulfilled, and then just completely transform. I don't know if you have met women or friends like that, that as soon as they get a boyfriend, they start dressing like them, listening to the same music, eating the same like them, following them around, begging, like just like little puppies, like following them. And that is very unattractive. A man that it's being chased around, that is, having all of these, is not going to feel attracted and magnetized towards this woman, because she's not independent. She doesn't have hobbies, things that interest her. So look, if he's your husband, I say, of course, go, explore hobbies together. But we're talking about not even marriage. We're talking about women that are only girlfriends or don't even have the status, and they completely forget about them, and I start adapting what the man is doing, their hobbies. Now she's into doing the sports that he does. She's into doing the things and dressing the same. And I seen this and I'm like, girl, what about your life? What about the things that you like doing? Maybe before you used to work out or reading or painting or dancing or baking or doing anything that you like that define you as a woman. Don't just dump that to the trash and start adapting what he does. You know, you have to keep your own interests, qualities, hobbies, things that interest you. So he doesn't have to look at you like as a kid, like, well, she can entertain herself. She doesn't have nothing going on for herself. And that is not attractive because he's gonna feel that he has to take care of you in everything, not just providing financially and safety, but even for your hobbies, you know, like, it's like a toddler, right? Like a toddler will follow you everywhere and you have to entertain them, but that's a kid, okay? We're talking about grown women over here. So you have to keep that independence. And of course, I'm gonna make another video about provider men and how can you marry and be provided for. Oh, what happened to my fire? I was trying to set. So I'm gonna make another video talking about providers and how can you can be provided for and marry a provider. And I'm not talking only about money and financial, like, oh, that's one part of the provider men, but they provide safety, security, guidance, leadership, safety, you know. So all of these things are under the umbrella of providers, but that's like a whole other video on its own. So we're gonna talk about that next Tuesday. But independence, yes, having your own hobbies, having your own interests, taking care of your emotional control, taking care of your happiness, right? Happiness, nobody can make you happy. And I mentioned this in a previous video, I think it was last week. You are the responsible for your own happiness. We cannot give this burden to someone else, especially the men that we want to marry or want to start a family. And now financial independence, yes, it's okay if you have something going on. You know, you did a career, you went to college, you have something going on, but if you want to marry a provider, then at least have something going on. I'm not saying like you're going to be the one paying all the bills or 50% of it, but at least have interests, passions that you want to do. If you are like a creative person or entrepreneur, so like me, I always try to, you know, do things like little businesses, doing things, my life coaching. There was a season I was like baking and doing YouTube videos about baking like low carb desserts. And I even created a company to like sell products and things like that. So always having something interesting about you going on, not fully depending on him like a puppy or a toddler just waiting behind him like, what now? What do we do now? Like, can I join you in your sport? Can I do? No, have your own things going on. As I mentioned, I've seen women that they completely drop their life and just go and follow whatever the guy's dream is. It's okay to support your husband, not a boyfriend or someone that isn't, you're not sure if they're going to propose. Okay, so you save that energy, that creation energy for your family, for the man that is going to claim you financially, spiritually, emotionally, socially, in front of friends and family, you know, like either through a spiritual ceremony or legal ceremony, you know, like the civil wedding, but not for a boy or a man, a male that is just building. And over there, you know, I see women just building with them and I'm like, where is your ring? Where is the commitment? So don't waste your life energy, your creation energy building and forgetting about yourself, because then that's why women are heartbroken after, right? Like, I gave him everything and he never married me. Yes, because you answer your same question. You gave him everything without him asking and without any commitment for you to, you know, like just give everything. You support and help build and create in a marriage with your husband. We're not trying to raise a man here, okay? That's why we have kids, to guide them, to tell them what to do, to dress them, to guide them, to help them, to cook for them, and all of that. So that was number 2, maintain your independence. Ooh, Johanna says facts. Yes, facts, right? Like, we're not trying to create an academy over here in supporting men. And then I see women that they give their life force, they create with men, they help them build, and then what do? After 5-7 years of juicing these women, right? They go and marry their dream girl after they created with your energy. and they build whatever they're building, and they go marry someone that they actually, like are magnetic towards, like someone that is connected in their feminine, someone that has hobbies and has interest, and is not going to be following him around like a puppy. So number three, practice self-care and take care of your body and your looks. This is important. Practice self-care. So let's define self-care. Grooming for me, it's yes, your nails done, your hair, massages, and all of these. This is grooming, right? Keep yourself groomed, nice looking, always. I don't care if you're 20 years into a marriage or you're trying to date, you always have to look good for you, because that makes you feel good. It makes you feel delicious, and also makes you connect to your feminine energy, right? Like when there is a feeling when you get your nails done and your hair done that nobody can deal with me that day. But it is something about grooming, right? Like that's one layer. Self-care is also taking care of your body, your health, your vitality, having energy to do things, having this flexibility to like do exercises and like do all these activities. And especially if you want kids, you want to have a healthy body to host the baby, create the baby. So always take care of yourself. Self-care is also inner work, the things that you have to heal, right? The wounds that you want to hear about marriage, about husbands, about relationships, about commitments. So self-care, therapy, hypnotherapy, yoga, do whatever you gotta do to do truly self-care. And also, like when you're healed inside, that is going to come outside. That is going to reflect, and you're going to project that confidence. You're not going to get triggered anymore by random things, by random comments he makes, or if he didn't, invite you out that day, you're not over here thinking like, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm all of these things. No, self-care means that you have confidence. You know who truly you are, and you're happy, and he's lucky and blessed if he gets to be around you. Right? So I'm not saying like entitlement, because that's a whole other vibration, like he should do that. No, like, hey, we all have free will to be where we want to be or not, and that's okay. If he doesn't want to, thank you, universe, he's deselecting himself from my field. Thank you, and see it as a blessing. But always take care of yourself, especially your looks. Women, ladies, my goddesses, I know I'm gonna say something, but it's true. Men are visual, and they're attracted to beauty. That's just how they're wired in their eyes. If they see something, they're just gonna turn. That doesn't mean that they are like, like cheating on you or anything. It's just that it's a nature, Even you, when you see around like a nice looking lady, you look and you're like, ooh, that outfit, ooh, that back, that hair, girl, like we check them out too. So make sure you're always into your goddess energy. Dress up, wear the nicest things you have in your closet, take care of your body so you can feel good. And when you feel good, all that makeup, the nails, the nice clothes is just going to amplify your beauty and look even better, because you're feeling good on the inside, and that's going to reflect. Even if you are, as I say, 10, 20, 30 years into a marriage, you always have to make sure you're putting your best self out there for you, for your kids, for him, for everybody. You get to create a beautiful surroundings in this world. So, but let's say that like you don't feel your best self, and you just don't put effort, and then you see other women, and that's where the competition, you can feel, oh, I'm not that beauty. Treat your body and yourself with so much love that when people see you, they are going to know that, damn, that woman really loves herself. She takes care of herself. She invests in herself, in her health, her looks, her appearance, her inner work. She's studying. She's always learning, keeping that brain strong, like learning new things. Always have like that topics of conversation, and that's why I love having like books or listening to podcasts or audiobooks or all of those things, because that's self-care, my growth, my evolution as a woman, and that's for me. Oh, Johanna says we need to be in love with ourselves. Oh, absolutely true, because I know that saying is so cliche when they say, well, love yourself first and then so you can love someone else. But it's absolutely true. I don't know who said it. Whoever said it and put it out there, he or she knew. They knew what they were saying, because this goes back to topic number 2, independence. Like if we don't love ourselves, we're giving that power to someone else, and we're expecting a man or a future husband to love us because we don't feel loved. Imagine the power that you're giving to someone, and then let's say that this person doesn't propose. What, he took your love with you, he took your self-love with him. So no, don't give that power to another human being. All of us are just here trying our best in this journey as souls in this human body, and they don't need more responsibility like that, okay? Like, love yourself, and then when he sees that you put yourself first, they're gonna want more of you. They're gonna be like, why is she not following me? Why is she not like, the more you focus on you, that's the secret. The more you focus on you, the more you do things for you, the more interested they're gonna be in you. And that's something that me and my husband discuss. And he's like, you're always up to something. Like, what are you doing? He's always checking on me. Like, what am I doing? Because I'm not following him around. You know, he has his projects, his business, and we share businesses, we do things together, but I focus on me too. You know, and he's like, oh, what are you up to? Oh, let me see. Can I take you on a date? And I'm like, of course you get to take me on a date, husband. But it's because I'm focusing on me. Focus all that love and creative energy on you. Don't be building men up for him to dump you and then marry his dream woman. No, you get to focus on you, and then because you're vibrating at this high self-love like frequency, you're going to attract someone like that, someone that values himself, that wants to give you everything, that wants to do things for you. You're going to attract him instead of like you vibrating low, waiting for someone to pull you. So no, likes strike. Attracts like. That's what I meant. Okay, number 3. Number 4, girls. Okay, rotational dating. Let me explain this concept for you. We are going to start dating for marriage and not committing to someone for become exclusive for a decade just to see if one day he wakes up and decides to marry you. And we know, we've seen women like that. Maybe you're one or not, or maybe you have a friend that is waiting to get married and waiting for him to wake up one day and decide. You get to decide what gets to be you for you in this life. Don't give that power to someone to decide for you. You don't have a plan for your life. You're going to follow into someone else's plan. Maybe this guy, maybe his plans is just like not getting married or waiting until he's 35 and has a house, and then there you go, you're with him in his plan. So rotational dating basically is dating for marriage and not committing with someone in those like vague or uncertain relationships without, you know, like any commitment. So I'm gonna tell a little story about my marriage or my engagement period. So when I was 26, I decided that I wanted to start dating for something more serious. I was working in a corporate world. I was an engineer, and I decided, you know what, I'm tired. I had a few boyfriends, you know, here and there, like, and I'm like, you know what, after each relationship ends, I just noticed I wasted or spent like 1 year of my life just to see where this goes. And it's exclusive, you post it on your social media, people find about, and then you just promote yourself out there that I'm taken by this imaginary relationship that doesn't have a status, that we're just trying to see where it goes. So, and then after that year, you need some time, at least 6 months, to redefine yourself, reinvent yourself, trying to heal your broken heart, or trying just to heal the wounds that this person left. Because every breakup, you know, most of them are not nice, and they have, you know, they feel you have to heal something inside of you. So imagine that's already 1 year and a half, 2 years, and then you go into another relationship, and then hopefully this one is gonna work. How about if we start reframing dating and we start planning? Like, you know what, I'm gonna date for marriage, and I'm not going to give my time like that because it's gonna take time. So at 26, I decided, you know what, I'm going to start dating for something more serious, because I was doing the girl math in my head. You know, I was like, if I want to marry and have my kids by 30, I have 4 years. I'm gonna, you know, first date. The dating world, you know, it takes time. I was in the office all day, so I had to download apps, and just the dating process, I'm like, it's gonna take a few months to meet people. I started going to salsa classes, to just trying to, doing all these meet and greet groups in my community. So that took time. And then I'm like, okay, so let's say that this person we start dating. Okay, it's gonna take time to propose, time to meet the family, time to plan a wedding. And let's say that we want to enjoy being married for a year. And then by that time I'm gonna be 29. Okay, so let's say plan a baby, buy a house, buy a car, do the whole marriage, like to bring a kid into the family. So I'm like, by that time I'm gonna be 30. Okay, so that means I have to start now. You start with your end goal and then you reverse engineer it and then start from there. What's my plan? That's my goal. How can I get there where I am today? What's my next step? And then I decided I'm just not gonna waste my time anymore. So I started going to these dates, coffee dates, dinner dates. I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna bring anybody. I was living alone in my apartment, not sleeping in, not nothing, none of that, just meeting people. That's what rotational dating means. Doesn't mean you're gonna have 3 boyfriends and be sleeping around, because then you're gonna need to heal more, like detox more. And then if your goal is marriage, then you date for marriage. If your goal is to have fun because you're younger, then it's up to you. Right now in this, we're talking about divine union. So, and then I met my husband online through an app. And then after 2 months of dating, going on dates, going to these events, we had that talk. And this is another point that I'm gonna mention later, but I'm bringing up right now because I voice my desires. Like, you know what, I truly want to start dating to something more serious. I didn't say the word marriage because then you're scare them off, but I'm like, you know what, I want something more serious with purpose. And if you're not there yet, then I respect that, because we met online, and if your goals and your values are other ones, perfect, let me know so I can, make space for other people. And, like, we didn't talk for a week. A week later, he asked me and he said, you know what, let's date more serious. 6 months later, after that day, he proposed. And everybody was shocked because here in the US, they're like, oh, that's too fast. You have to date 5 years before you know he's the one. Why? If you know you're the one, if you both know what you want, then what we have built in these 5 years being together, we have built like triple, because we're married, because we're committed. We don't have that uncertainty of like, is he gonna marry me? Should I help him out build? Is he gonna provide? Should I get pregnant before? You eliminate all that shenanigans. You eliminate all the questioning and uncertainty when you commit. So, I just voiced my desires, and I voiced what my values. That's why I made you guys a list of, like, you have to make a love list of the values that you want, because once you have your plan for life, and if you see that that man doesn't have the same values as you, then it's an easy, you're like, you're just not a match for me. Have good luck in your path. I'll go look for mine. So this is what rotational dating means, and we can talk more about it if your ladies are interested. Just let me know. It says, wow, I loved it. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, I love sharing that story because, I voice my desire and I say, look, I'm not available to invest another 2 years in a relationship that I don't know if it's gonna go somewhere else. Like, I had a career, I wanted to move forward, and I knew I wanted to have a baby when I was 30. And I had her when I was 29. But, I just did the girl math, and I'm like, this is not adding up. Like, I'm going towards the 30th, and right now it's okay. Women are waiting longer to have their babies, but you just do your math, and then you say, hey, how many more failed relationships I have time to waste? And then you will see. So, okay, rotational dating. Okay, number 4. Number 5. Ooh, I'm gonna keep sharing the story because there is another piece about this one. Number 5, have other male energy around you. Girl, okay. Rotational dating means you're going, right? You're going on dates, not having sex, just like getting to know each other on dates, activities. And then if he say, hey, be my girlfriend, and I say, you know what, I'm dating for marriage and I'm not planning to commit like in these long things. And if he says, let's try 3 months and I'm ready to commit to put the ring on, good. But one thing that men love, and this is something that I can give testimony of because my husband always brings it up, is that there were other men trying to pursue me, okay? And he always brings that up. He says, I snatched you. I put a ring on it. I took you off the market. And I'm like, yes, you're right. You did. That was your idea. That's right. Because when I was like trying to date, right, more serious, and I was into my feminine, I opened up my heart to attract. And I told the universe, look, I'm ready. I have my love list. I will say it out loud every morning on my way to work. Like, universe, thank you for my husband because he's this. I will repeat the values that I put in my list. And then I would say, and I'm the reciprocal of this. I'm the reciprocal. I'm the woman that he's looking for. And thank you, universe. It's a match in heaven. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So the universe listened to me, and he started sending other men that had the same values as my husband. And then I'm not going to mention names or where because, you never know who's watching. But, excuse me, there was this guy, this male. He was already like successful. He was, a little older than me, like 5 years or something, 6 years older than me. He was set. He had an engineering career. He had like all the things on deck, educated, family orientated, the values that I put on my list. And then he knew I was like talking to, like dating this guy online, which was my husband. And then this person was, he's like, you know what, you got to make a choice because I'm ready to go buy a ring. And I'm like, okay, universe, I just didn't know, like, I needed to prepare this fast to, like to manifest this quick. But I decided, I'm like, I'm not going to waste time. And then by then I had to make a choice. And there was another, like, people from my past trying to get back at me out of nowhere because I became magnetic in the match for marriage because I made my love list and I decided I ain't going to waste time. So, and then my husband found about him, and then, and then I'm like, hey, but I'm not nobody's girlfriend. I'm just trying to see who made the best men win. So it was my choice to decide, you know what? No, I actually feel a deeper connection, like at a soul level with my husband, and I just knew. That's something that I knew in my gut, and I'm like, you know what? He gets to be the one that, like gets the opportunity. But he knew there were other men pursuing me for marriage, not just to mess around or flirt with me. So he knew I was serious. I told him, look, I gave him the ultimatum, and then he knew that there were other men trying to get at me, and he said, you know what, 6 months, got the ring. So that's how it worked for me. I was doing this whole rotation of dating without even knowing of the concept of having like other male energies, like if they smell it. So that's why when you look good, when you heal inside, when you radiate, when you shine, when you're magnetic, they're just going to be like, what is she up to? Where is she going? Why is she? I need to ask her for another date. I need to, snatch her, put her off market. Because you have your own life, you have your own things going on. And they can see when other men are looking at you, it's like something in their head. It's like, oh, she's more valuable because other men want her. And it's just something about the men that they're very competitive. So they want to win, and I'm not saying like, oh, the whole machismo thing, like they win women. It's just something chemically in their brain. So when you understand these things, you're like, you know what? If it's a coworker send me flowers of these, just like, oh, look, I got flowers, or looks so good that you're just going to get eyes from everyone, and he's going to know, even when we go out. I live here in Houston, and then when we go out, I always wear red, or like, my hair is all like big, and I wear heels, and I'm just love dressing like a goddess. And I can see, I can feel some eyes, and I know he knows, but we just don't say anything. But he kind of gets protective, like, oh, okay, like, let me get the chair, or, so it's beautiful to have that other male energy. But women now just like block themselves for like 3, 4, 5 years. Like, I'm not even gonna look to another man. I have no hobbies. I'm begging this man for a ring. I building him like if he's a kid, and then he's not gonna feel attracted because you're right there next to him, chasing him, and he's like, okay, like, let me breathe, Say, damn girl, get it. Yes. Oh, thank you, Johanna. it is true, right? Like I'm just saying facts. I'm giving this advice and talking to you girls like if you're my sisters, you know, because this is something I'm gonna have the conversations with my own daughter. Because we need to learn this from other women. And now it's like, no, we don't need no man. Stay with him 10 years. And that doesn't mean that he's a bad man. You know, I truly believe that there is really good men out there. And but of course they're gonna take whatever is easier, whatever is the less work they have to put in, the path of least resistance. It's just like when you go to a buffet. You pay your $20, $15 for a buffet, and you're like, how much can I get? Everything. I'll get everything. And we overeat, right? Guilty. You know, I'm like, give me three of these, some chicken wings, extra bread that I never had, and just, you know, but we just get whatever it's there. So when you put no boundaries, no values, no restrictions, no level entry, you know, like requirements to enter you, to come to you, to be in your presence, then they're just gonna take whatever it's given. Doesn't mean that they're bad, doesn't mean that they're a bad man. Maybe they'll marry their dream girl later because they use your energy to build. But do you want that? Just ask yourself, do I want that? And then you will find your answer. It says, yes, we each as partners need someone alone times. Yes, we need alone time, especially if, you know, especially if you're married with kids, then that alone time becomes even more crucial, right? Like you fight for every minute of self-care time that you can get. Okay, let's move on. We had number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6, and this ties everything that I've been talking. Communicate openly and honestly about your desires, about your values, and then about what you truly want out of this relationship or marriage, what you're looking for. Because if you don't voice anything, how is he gonna know? You just have to, with body language and communication, you have to let him know that you're not available for these long-term things or shenanigans of just like, you know, like, oh, do play the wife role without commitment. So one of the things in my, going back to my story that he suggested, you know, like men will try. That doesn't mean that they're bad men. Healthy men just will try to see what they get. You know, he's like, hey, what if we move together? You have your apartment, you're commuting that long to work, and I'm trying to remodel this property. What if we live together? And I say, oh, I appreciate it, but you know, that's just not in my values. In my culture, we don't do that. And I use the culture card. I'm from Guatemala, and I knew like my mom was gonna look at me like, why are you moving in like that? You know, so I had to use that card and say, you know what? I don't think in my culture we do that. Like, I'm not going to move in with any man unless I have a ring, because at least there I know that, okay, we're going for longer, something longer. And I told him, what if this doesn't work? What am I gonna tell my husband, my future husband? What excuse I'm gonna tell him that I moved in with another man? You know, and he's like, oh, no, no, no. He respected my decision. The week that he proposed, that week we moved into my apartment, and then we moved into his because that was being remodeled. But I put that requirement of entry, like, no, we're not living together, we're not playing house, because I was young, I have time to, you know, choose and grow. And at the same time, I didn't want to waste that time, the precious time that I had. So we're not playing house, because I'm only gonna make a house with my husband, with only men. And he respected that, but he tried. That doesn't mean that when people test you, that doesn't mean that you have to comply and say, well, he's not gonna love me or he's not gonna marry me if I live with him. And just like that, you put other requirements of entry. But that's knowing how to communicate the values that you have, your values. That's why the love list is very important. Okay, number 7, I lost count, just next one. Encourage vulnerability and allow him space to share without judge him, and just like without judgment or correcting him. This is part of being like feminine energy and being that nurturing space for him. Because many times, as I say, we want to correct things, and some things that they do wrong, we want to correct them and tell them that's wrong. And that kind of like emasculates them. And I have noticed it, you know, like sometimes, you know, because I'm very technical, and, you know, I was working as an engineer in construction. And when we started doing investing in, you know, real estate with my husband and the developing companies, I would say, you know, like, oh, no, that's wrong. I mean, I knew it was wrong. And yes, it was a fact that was wrong, but I was correcting him instead of using like smart communication and on like other like nice communication to let him know that maybe that's wrong. But I remember I would be so bossy because I was working with other men. And I saw that that would like make him feel bad, like emasculate him. And I'm like, no, I don't want to emasculate the leader of our house. But instead, I would be like, are you sure? I don't know. Is there another way? Or I guess, and then let him try. And when something was wrong, he's like, you know what? I figured it out and I knew. Sometimes you gotta let them win, okay? Like we as women, we want to win everything. Choose your battles. Choose what you want to win. Hey, I married the man of my dreams. I won. Period. I don't care if the wood is chipped on this side, or the nails are the wrong size, or this paint is. All of that has solution. But just pick your battles and just let him be vulnerable. Vulnerable. Oh, I can say this word. This word. Encourage vulnerability. That word. Because when you allow him space to share, without feeling judged, then he's gonna open up more to you. Just like when you see another, excuse me, another friend judging another friend with you, like she's talking about other of her good friends, and she's like judging her and criticizing her, then you feel insecure. Like, whoa, what is she saying about me when with the other friend? So when we judge, especially in front, like, well, you should be doing that. Well, that's because then we get into the mother energy, and that's not attractive. That's not attractive. That kind of emasculates them, and it's like the mom and the little kid. So you want to use all your feminine flavors at the right time. That's the beauty of being a goddess, ladies, because we have all this range of flavors. We have the mom energy, the mother energy, we have the sexy energy, we have the boss energy, right? To create businesses, to create structures. We have the goddess energy, the one that she puts boundaries, the one that knows her worth and knows her value. And we have like the playful, more kind of like child energy. Like that's the energy I use with my daughter. We're playing, we're here, we're careless, like like when we're playing. And now I have to switch into my mother energy when she needs help, when she needs guidance, when she needs something. But if we play that mother energy with our husbands or future husbands, we're talking about getting to propose, he's always going to feel like, I can share with her because I feel judged, I don't feel safe. And it's hard for men to open up. So when he's doing it, just be compassionate and care, so he knows that he can always open up to you. And when he feels that connection, that's where you can like have awaken that kind of like reaction in him of like, hey, she's magnetic, she listens to me, she doesn't judge. So that doesn't go only for like dating and engagement phase, but also in your marriage. Trust me, this will be gold if in your marriage. Okay, next one. Oh, I mentioned that before. I think I shared two in one. Like, share your goals and values about long term. And then if he doesn't comply, or he doesn't agree with those values, because you want to get married, you want, like to start a family in divine union, and if he stops dating you or he breaks up the relationship, it's a blessing in the sky. Okay, let him deselect himself. Actually, he's doing you a favor by moving out of your way, because what you want is marriage. He doesn't value those values, or he doesn't want to. Great, he made room for your husband. So don't look at it like, oh, he doesn't love me, I'm not lovable, I'm not this. No, it's a blessing in the sky. And this was something that me and a client were talking last night. I have on Monday nights, I have like one of my clients, and she wants to get married. So we were talking about these things, about how one of the persons deselected himself from the rotation, and which is like, we're sending him blessings, like shedding light to that way, like, thank you. Actually, thank you, because you cleared the road. You're deselecting himself. You're being respectful of my desires and the values that I want. Move on. Thank you. Thank you, universe, because I'm decluttering the road. And some people select themselves, so you don't have to do that awkward conversation. So they save you that awkward moment, right? So everything is working for me. That's an affirmation. Write it in the chat. Everything is working for me. Okay, and last one. Oh my God, ladies, please. Goddesses, do not beg for a ring. Just don't beg for a ring. Don't beg. him. Don't force him to get married with you. Don't beg for nothing. Just know your worth. That's the, I can say it with, I'm saying it with all my heart. Please do not just put pressure like, I want to get married. When are you going to propose? When are you going to propose? I want to get married. I want to have kids. No, these will make you feel and be seen as like you lost your power, you lost your value. Please do not these don't do this, because this is harming your self-esteem, your confidence, is adding pressure to him, and he's gonna do it out of desperation, like, oh my God. Just know your worth, that this is going to happen for you. If he's not that man, God bless his heart and his future wife, but my husband is coming. Your husband is coming on the way. But when you start forcing and begging, you are in the scarcity vibration. You're in the begging, you know, like, please. And when, what happens when someone begs? For example, when someone is begging for money, when someone is asking you, you feel kind of repelled, don't you? Like, even us as women, we feel repelled. Like, move, like, just give me a little space to breathe. So imagine to men, you know, like, and especially in such a big decision and commitment in life, just don't beg for it. Don't beg for it. And if you apply some of these or all of them of these things, you are going to end up married next year. I'm putting that out there for you. You will get the ring, I promise. But you have to put that energy first on you. Stop giving in to someone else or to like build him, because men feel more masculine, more like, you know, like the chest is up, kind of like more empowered when they are surrounded by feminine energy, just like in high school or college. Remember, the most like popular guy was the one that all the girls were around him. What made him that way? That feminine energy, being surrounded and uplifted by women, right? So when you give your feminine energy, your feminine presence to a man, he's gonna build up. And if you're acting like a peasant, literally, like begging for a ring, not having your own hobbies, giving your power away, he's gonna use that energy, and all this is subconscious. It's not like he's like, let me take her energy. It's subconscious. And he's gonna build up, and then this relationship could end, and he's gonna go marry the dream girl that she shows all of these, you know, embodiment of a goddess. And then you're on the floor trying to pick up your broken pieces. So save yourself like a broken heart. Save yourself this trauma, this healing. Like, literally getting healed, doing healing is a privilege of time, of energy, and money, because you have to invest in therapists, in life coaches, in books, in all of these things to heal yourself, to elevate yourself. So save yourself for marriage, and save yourself for the right man, instead of like adding more trauma to your body, you know, because it hurts. I've been there, and it just takes a lot of effort in life, like your force energy, your creation energy, to heal. And yes, we have to go through that. But if you're in the kind of like the space of, you know what, I am not going to allow this, like I'm good, then keep yourself good, because heart, you know, pain and aches, they suck. They suck. Gabby, Maga, Gabby says, when you concentrate on yourself, everyone will notice. Girl, yes. Oh, thank you for joining this live, Gabby. Yes, everyone will notice, and everyone will be attracted to you. As I say, not just the men, but the kids, people, even animals, your in-laws, family. You're just a happy person to be around, like a magnetic person to be around. And that's when you start attracting opportunities, businesses, friends, money, happiness, joy. But everything comes within. Okay, so ladies, thank you so much for watching this live. I really, really appreciate you, ladies, my goddesses. Thank you for engaging in the chat. If you're interested, I will leave more information in the description box about the one-on-one coaching, about the online courses, also the other videos about relationships, like the love list and the values list and all of these. Everything is in the description box. I love you, love you, love you, and thank you. Now see you next Tuesday for another Cafecito con Polkiz. Adiós.